obviously a big key this weekend. What are your plans pitching-wise with rotation?
Well, we're still looking at all the teams that are in the tournament and how we match up the best against Wilmington and how it helps us throughout the tournament. So I haven't determined who's going to start the first game yet.
Corey Merrill will see the mound at some point this weekend in a starting capacity.
Oh, I hope so, yes.
You talk about this matchup. They're such a good hitting team, and obviously pitching has been a strength for you this season.
They really do swing the bat, and they'll hit at least 6, maybe 7 left-handed hitters, and that's the matchup that I'm looking at of how we kind of combat that. They're not a big running team other than 2 guys. And the 2 guys have 47 of their 77 stolen bases. Yeah, so they have a couple of guys that can really run, but the rest of the team is pretty average as far as runners. They're an okay defense. They're an okay defensive team, so I think it's a premium that we make sure we get the ball in play and put a little more pressure on them.
Have they evolved since you last played them? I mean, you had a nice win on the road against them. What do they look like since?
Well, they won every game for about 10 in a row when we left, and then they went into a little lull, and then they just came out of this tournament and won. So they're an older team that's very talented.
What can you convey from your experiences of having done this 14 years in a row to a team that none of your players have ever experienced this before as you go into this week? How much you just try to make it about just playing baseball?
Well, I don't want to sound cliche-ish, but it really is the same distance. It doesn't change. It's a weekend tournament. We get a chance to play some good teams, which we've done all year, and to really trust themselves, have the confidence, and believe in their entire process that they've been believing in.
I'm sorry, the league is as good as it turned out to be this year, maybe better than people expected. How much do you think that's helped prepare you to get to this point?
Tremendously. I don't think we had very few blowout games either way. So every game came down within a handful of runs. So we're always battling for the lead, always battling to stay in the game to give ourselves a chance to win.
Defensively, were you able to, you have to mix it up without Jake? Is the plan to kind of stick with what you did in that last game?
Yeah, I mean, we've utilized that combination in the past, and it's our best available combination right now. We're moving Tyler back to first, Hope sliding back in at third, and Garrett at second base.
How much did Hunter impress you coming out, after the break that he had there? He's obviously your better defensive third baseman, but now it looks like he might be having that back going.
Well, it's a testament to his character because he never complained. He kind of got out of the starting role for a while, and he just kept working on his game and improving. And so I just think it was such a testament of what kind of kid he is.
Yeah, not having Jake, he's a guy who obviously helps you defensively, helps you at the plate, but to me he's like a leader. Like he's got that gritty.
You're right. He's got the grit, and people tend to follow him, and he plays by example, and he plays very hard every day. He has solidified the middle of our infield with him and Stephen, and it gives us a little bit more range. Offensively, he led us in hitting in conference. So we're going to miss Jake, but we got guys that will step up.
Did you try and appeal it, or were you able? Is it something that could have been appealed?
The word appeal is the wrong word. It's more of a protest, and we did go through all the process.
And it was because he made contact?
He did make contact.
That's the rule breaker.
Yeah, the thing is, he was suspended for the ejection for a game, and then 3 more for bumping the umpire.
Merrill and Massey had problems finding the plate a little bit in the tournament.
Yeah.
A little bit late in the season. How concerned are you, and have you identified with each one of them what the issue is?
Well, both of them are truly strike throwers, and I think what happens is they start trying to make the perfect pitch early in the count instead of making solid, repeatable pitches. And that's the message this week: is don't try to be perfect, try to be good, and just attack and believe in your stuff. But really, once you make a quality pitch, try to just repeat that quality pitch, and that means 0-0 as well as an 0-2 count.
Your starting pitching has kind of carried the team a lot this
Yeah.
year. It hadn't been quite as good late. The hitting's gotten better. The defense has been excellent. How complete can this team be if you can get those pitchers back?
Well, if you look at the numbers of starting pitchers, you would definitely say that. But you look at a Patrick Deuster, who wasn't as sharp as he could have been, and battles through and gives us 7 innings. one note that I made yesterday in our team meeting is if you look at two teams throughout the country that did really well in their conference tournaments, one was Houston Baptist. They threw 4 complete games in the conference tournament. Texas threw 3 and then didn't go to a reliever till the 7th inning. So it's about creating that ability to get deep in games to utilize the bullpen the right way. When we have to go to a bullpen guy early, it affects the entire rotation.
You don't have a deep bullpen. You've got 4 quality starters.
Right.
And so how important is that even more for you guys?
Well, it's important this week for guys to relax and really to step up. And we've been stepping up in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll hopefully have some new guys step up this week.
When do you expect to make a decision or publicly announce, let's put it that way, on whether Merrill starts?
The first game? The first game?
Yeah.
Most likely through tomorrow, probably the end of tomorrow, early Thursday morning.
Talk a little bit about Alex Massey this year. I mean, he's a kid who missed a year with an injury, said he wasn't quite right last year. What did you expect out of him? What have you gotten out of him?
Well, I think initially when he came back, he was healthy, but he's still learning how to trust and believe in his stuff. And he was real aggressive on the front side of his delivery, which pulled him off of the target. And I think it was one day where Coach Hagan and I were just talking to him. It was basically, that's what we want you to do in your delivery, and calm your front side down. And just learning to trust that is good enough has actually been able to, it's allowed him to be able to relax his arm and stay behind the ball better, which gives him more consistency and more stuff on the ball.
He's had a couple of big Saturday wins for you down the stretch, South Florida, Memphis. Just what's it, to be able to count on a guy's maturity, things like that, and you'd lost the night before. So
well, we were at Houston on a Sunday. We were 0-2, and he pitched a CG and beat us 3, and we got the win 3-1.
Right.
That was huge for us, and he's done that at East Carolina.
Right.
He's done that in those 2 tough series, UCF and then South Florida. So, yeah, he's been really special for us on the weekends of really picking us up when we're down and we need a win.
And you know how much this means to him to be up there. Finally getting in. He's your only 4th-year guy, right? 4th year in the program, I think.
In the program, that's correct.
Only 4th-year guy in the program comes in here and comes here where you expect to get to the tournament every year, and finally in what may be his last year, he said he's.
Yeah, right.
You like him back, I'm sure, but he's not sure.
Yeah.
But what might be his last time. You know what this must mean for him to be up there this weekend.
Yeah, and I don't want him to make it bigger than it really is, though. I mean, it's a game, and he's done well, but I think he's going to be excited going back home, pitching in front of a lot of friends and family.
Yeah.
Just the instant impact of 24 hours of being in the field, has it had an impact on recruiting as you guys are talking to people out there, being that maybe this, you've gotten this thing back to where it should be in 1 year's time?
It's not where it should be, but I'll tell you this. When your name's called and you're in the field of 64, instantly recruiting takes off. And, with the world of Twitter and all the things that are going on in social media, and it only helps us. And the best recruiters are players. The best recruiting is winning, and the best recruiting winning in postseason is how it works.
Will the conference stay the same next year? You'll still play Houston twice?
We're working on that.
Yeah.
That hasn't been determined yet.
It probably didn't look good when they set it up for you, but it worked out to your advantage.
It didn't look good at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with your background, right?
Yeah.
When this week things ramp up, as a coach, how much is your routine? Are you up at night?
Yeah, a little more. It's not about nerves. It's just more about excitement. Yeah, you're excited, and you're trying to return texts and trying to return calls, and at the same time, your priorities are the team and the preparation. But it's just the best time of the year.
Can you win, you think, Game 1 without Merrill on the mound?
There's very possibility. You're onto this Merrill thing, aren't you?
I know. I'm obsessed with it. I have a story on pitching. So.
There's a very good possibility that that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
Finally got you.
Sorry. I'm sorry.